Mind that the time clock has turned back, and I get to finish introducing myself as a naturopathic doctor. And this past little bit of time, I got to go back to Boston, and the medical world has asked me, because of my PhD in virology, to actually write the guidelines for all physicians that they should follow in the event we have an epidemic for influenza. Anybody think that might happen? Yeah, so I got to go this last little while, and I'm published as the author of what all physicians should do for drugs, for supplements, for everything in the event we have an epidemic of influenza. And with that in mind, I just want you to know that chocolate does exist in that category. It does not do anything to destroy the virus. But in the event you take something that does destroy the virus, there's nothing better than this strong antioxidant chocolate to get it out of your body quicker. So that's where it helps. With that in mind, and isn't that a great way to twist and turn my introduction into a little bit of chocolate sales? Anyways, antioxidant delivery systems. You know what we're dealing with here is our product line. We have meal replacements that include the shake. We have what we call hard chocolates, and you've got the squares, power squares, the nuggets, showbiotics, omega squares. We've got drinks, anti-aging products, and there's an anti-aging skincare product, and Jeremy may have overstated what I'm allowed to tell you about that product, because let me quote this as much as possible. Jeanette calls me on the phone. Be there, right? And, you know, after she coughed up her left lung, she says, I still have the right one. It's okay, I can still talk. That was a joke. And she did, and she said to me, you know what, I want you to tell them nothing about that product, but you can tease them just a little bit. So we'll see what that means towards the end of this talk. In the event I tease you appropriately, I'm going to be honoring her request no matter what. Chronic diseases account for 75% of all deaths. Now we know that, but over 80% of the elderly persons that are walking around the United States of America have at least one chronic disease already. And more than half of these elderly people have two chronic diseases. Asthma, arthritis, diabetes, and you start looking around and you go, wait a minute. Are these diseases because they didn't do proper prevention and maintenance of the body they're walking around in? Because if you don't keep up with what your body's doing, and you wear out this home, where are you going to live? And that's what's happening, is we're not doing proper prevention. In addition to that, approximately 75% of all deaths in patients over 65 are due to heart problems and diabetes. So when you realize I'm setting you up to recognize that this chocolate is exactly what the world needs to help the biggest number of people, science also demonstrates that there's a link between nutrition and the quality and longevity of life. I'm giving you some hints as to what this product is for, why chocolate is so powerful to so many people. Free radical damage is the cause. Cellular damage is what happens, and it can be linked as a causative agent in approximately 85% of all the chronic diseases. Inflammation from free radicals is the problem. There is only one company allowed to claim healthy chocolate. Who knows what that company is? Call it out. That is not animated enough. 1, 2, 3. That's like Dave Ramsey. I'm debt free. Isn't that great? Anyways, I cannot tell you with any more emphasis that everything I'm giving you today is in support of that one claim. Healthy chocolate. No one else has that ability. And many of the benefits are because of it is the best antioxidant rated by the United States Department of Agriculture, with ORAC ratings as much as 10 times greater than spinach. And we can go on and on and on with the facts there. But I want to get to some of the new things, the brand new facts, the brand new studies, because I want to build your confidence in this is the right product, this is the right company, this is the right message. With that in mind, Harvard University will be quoted and cited. In addition, Yale, Oxford, Georgetown, London University, University in Finland, in all these different countries that have published data supporting dark chocolate's benefits. In addition to that, medical journals, and I give you the citings of medical journals because of this reason. In the proof of something scientific or medical, the medical journal is the highest level of credibility that there is. Sure, there's textbooks, sure, there's articles, sure, there's newspapers. You can look at People magazine and Us magazine, but the top level credible source in the world for medicine comes when it's been peer-reviewed by many doctors and published in their own medical journal. That's the highest level of credibility. So I'm going there, and we're going to cite the British Journal of Medicine. We're going to talk about the Journal of American Medical Association, the New England Journal of Medicine, the Journal of Cardiology, dermatology, biochemistry, periodontology, that's for your gums. All of these places have documented that you have the most credible, healthy chocolate in the world. That's how I take it. With that in mind, dark chocolate has benefits in all different body systems: immune function, cardiovascular function, athletic performance, mood enhancement. Wait a minute. Mood enhancement? By the raise of hands, how many of you have eaten chocolate and had an increase in your mood? Now, keep them up. If you have also had an increase in your mood because you sold chocolate to somebody, keep your hand up. Yeah, I know where to push the buttons, don't I? Okay. Now, look at this. This is the first time I've ever been able to have sufficient medical documentation to say this. Look at the first word on the right-hand column. Say it. Yes, sir. I'm going to talk about that today. I'm going to cite the references, and I'm going to tell you exactly what is and isn't real, because I get asked that question all the time. Oral health, eye health, weight control, skin health, dementia, brain and stroke, inflammation. All of these have documented studies from the previous credible medical journals of their benefit. Who wants to get a little more in depth? We're going to right now. A demo. Who wants to play in this demo with me? I've never done this before. Everyone can play. Take a piece of chocolate out if you have one. Doesn't matter which one. Actives, the squares, the nugget, whatever it is. Take out a piece of show-side chocolate, and I'm going to quote a medical journal while we do a demonstration with it. According to London's Middlesex University, I don't know if that's an unfortunate name or just a way of advertising for more attention, but Middlesex University has a quote in their latest publication on dark chocolate. Quote, chocolate aroma, that means you're going to take a whiff of this chocolate. Chocolate aroma helps reduce stress, helps people relax and reduce anxiousness. Quote from the same journal, just a whiff of chocolate is enough to put people in a good mood. Don't you love science all of a sudden? Now, if you'll take the chocolate on the count of three deep breaths of your chocolate within an inch of your nose. Breathe deep. Now, you're taking 3 whiffs because we're going to test this medical journal. And in the journal it says 40 grams per day for 2 weeks helps metabolism, anxiety, gut microflora, and reduce stress hormones. Have you had 3 breaths? Good, I'm selfish. I had you do that at the first of my talk because I want you anxiety and stress-free for the rest of my talk. It had nothing to do with you at all. It was just me, right?
Yeah.
How many of you believe chocolate to be something to reduce stress? Now you're going to have proof. You see how science supports your testimonials? Let's take a look at that. Oh, and by the way, don't you like how these studies are documenting how much, how often, and how long the chocolate takes to have a benefit? That's the power of the scientific journal. A newly published study on dark chocolate, that means this year, says the active ingredients from cocoa, called theobromine, relieved symptoms of acute and chronic coughs in 60% of people eating daily chocolate for 3 months. So what they're doing is saying every single day, the persons who are consuming chocolate then come to a flu season, 60% of them don't get the cough, which means they didn't get the flu, which means they have an immune mobilization that prevented it. Now, instead of saying, you know what, I just feel better, now I just have this great feeling that I'm not getting sick as much, you can say, according to this journal, it's been proven that what I'm feeling is felt in most other people too. Which means you should be able to have the same benefit. Those who ate the most dark chocolate, I love this line, those who ate the most dark chocolate, that means 2 ounces per week. That's not very much, is it? No. Those who ate the most dark chocolate reduced their likelihood of suffering a stroke by 20%. The most dark chocolate. That suggests to me that their study didn't have nearly enough chocolate to get even more of a benefit. That's my opinion. That's not the study. Going on, those who ate dark chocolate for 3 months reduced the symptoms of sunburn by 40%. So those of you who just went on a cruise and you're going, you know what, I just didn't get sunburned. Your body's ability to neutralize the damage in the skin is being measured and published in medical journals. Those receiving dark chocolate of 3.5 ounces daily for 3 months had less sunburn. And this is from the University of Dusseldorf. Again, many countries are recognizing this, not just our country. Dark chocolate enhances immune function. Well, here's some specifics. According to the British Journal of Nutrition, T helper cells, T lymphocytes in the blood and intestines show improvement. Why is that significant? Well, the T helper cells are the ones that are most effective in HIV. In the T lymphocytes, those are the ones that are most damaged in autoimmune and cancer-like situations. Harvard says, and they report, that there is a decrease in high blood pressure, arterial plaque, heart disease, and diabetes in those who consume dark chocolate regularly. That's this year. They're summarizing what they've been studying for the past decade. All chocolate is not the same. We're telling this story. Now here's a third party, independent of us, who has come out and saying the same thing. Alkalizing cocoa beans, in other words, boiling them till they don't have anything left, but a slurry, alkalizing cocoa beans reduces the total flavonoid content by 2/3, reducing the antioxidant potential of the product. So now you can say, we know we're the best, we know we process ours the correct way, and the government has given us the ability to say healthy chocolate is ours. And here's another study that's saying the same exact thing. Healthy chocolate is an earned label. It is scientifically supported. Here's another study giving evidence of that. Unsweetened cocoa has 4 times the amount of antioxidants as green tea. Who's heard of green tea? Who drinks green tea? Who knows that it's a terrific, terrific product? Just we're 4 times better. That's a great approach, isn't it? Science works in a lot of different persuasive ways. Dark chocolate is proven to improve mood and brain function. Anybody interested in that? Anybody have a member of their family interested in something like that? Let's take a look at this. According to the British Journal of Clinical Pharmacology, And after 100 published medical studies confirming these truths, eating dark chocolate every day for 10 years could reduce the risk of stroke and heart attack. Now, that didn't sound too exciting. You've heard that every time we've ever talked about it. Here's what's exciting. Over 100 published studies are now confirming this, including Harvard. So anyone who says different, you win when you say, well, just produce 100 published studies that say we don't. Don't argue with them. We have the facts on our side. Women who ate dark chocolate during their pregnancies gave birth to happier, more positive, and more attractive babies. Oh, excuse me, active. Don't you love how you can twist the word accidentally? What do you think about that? I have a publication to back me up now. I can say, yes, during pregnancy you can take it. Yes, your children are going to benefit from it. Here's why, the study goes on to say. Researchers said that the mood-lifting chemicals in dark chocolate may have passed from mother to child. And that may continue when the mother nurses. I know. Don't even say the word chocolate milk. But there's a lot of jokes. We're going to stop them. Well, we might not stop there. It depends on how slow the meeting gets. Anyway, a new survey reports. Okay, now this is a survey. A survey reports 27% of consumers in the U.S., Belgium, France, Germany, Switzerland, and the UK buy chocolate to help boost their moods. 27%. 1 out of 4 are buying chocolate for a purpose to increase their mood. What if we were the ones that actually said, we can prove that we're doing that? Interesting. Just a whiff of chocolate is enough to put people in a good mood. I brought that back up because you had a whiff just a few minutes ago. Of those who took a whiff, how many of you are in a good mood? Yeah, did you see my clinical trial? What, was 7 minutes long? That worked out pretty good for me. It worked better for you. I hope that you recognize these are proofs in medical journals. Eating dark chocolate slows down the aging process. Now wait a minute, wouldn't it be good to put anti-aging capsules together with chocolate because you get the 1-2 punch of anti-aging? Yes, the molecules contained in dark chocolate improve skin oxygenation. That means better healing. That means better skin tissue. Cambridge University reports this. And they said that they put this right in their study, a scientific breakthrough that transforms chocolate into an anti-aging wonder drug. Wow. You think you could use that when you're talking to your mom, your grandmother, your neighbors? That's kind of an empowering statement coming from Cambridge University. Dark chocolate may fight wrinkles and improve skin tone and texture. Anybody interested in that? I'm not talking about our product specifically yet, but wouldn't this be a hint of something we might use in the event we were going to put out something that might be along this line? Dark chocolate orally improves the skin by delivering nutrients into the skin cells and removing free radicals. We have that product. And we have that product in capsules, and it does work, and it does wonders from the inside out. In addition, dark chocolate improves wrinkles through epicatechins, which are in that chemistry of the chocolate, that bind with oxygen and deliver it into the cells. It works many times better when used orally and topically at the same time. Wow, that's neat that we've got a medical study that came out coincidentally at this time. That was enough hinting. Dark chocolate positively influences brain performance. I need some dark chocolate, don't I? Dark chocolate positively influences brain performance in middle-aged individuals. Okay, admit it. In the last month, how many of you forgot where you put your keys? Nobody wants to raise their hand to that one. They never do. But I'm telling you, I think that middle-aged is determined by if you lose your keys misplaced then once a month, you're middle-aged. You're old if it's every week, right? Okay. Quote. This is one of my favorite quotes in the whole thing I put together. And it comes from a psychopharmacology journal in Australia, University of Australia. Quote. People who regularly consume dark chocolate can think just as well as others, but with less effort. What the heck does that mean? That means you're not smarter, you just don't have to work at it, right? I don't know exactly how you want to interpret that, but I interpret that as a really good thing. We have our body's processes working in our cells, in our bloodstreams, in our brains so much better that we are doing just as smart of work as any other smart person, but our bodies are able to handle it longer. You see, I got 4 medical degrees and I realized that I can sum all 4 degrees up in this one sentence. I believe the body will heal itself if you give it the proper tools. How many of you believe me at that? You're all doctors now, so you don't have to go to school. The short version of that's very, very important because we recognize the use of tools to help the body do the healing, not the doctor to do the healing. 250 to 500 milligrams of cocoflavanols for 30 days. That's really not much more than 2 squares of chocolate. 2 squares a day for 30 days. Increased human brain neural efficiency with significant improvements in working memory, memory hold, and retrieval. You won't forget as much. You'll be able to retrieve better. Anybody think that's a powerful thing when you're 50 or older? It's pretty important when you're 20 or younger, too, when you're going to school and taking a test. Again, these medical references are listed. I just haven't taken time to state all of them. They're here for you, though. Flavanols, present in cocoa, called epicatechins, enhance memory. Another support for that memory because some of you might forget. Anyway, long-term memory increased 8 times longer, and significant resistance to memory extinction was reported. You want me to read that again for those of you who just ate? The blood sugar's going down here. Long-term memory increased 8 times longer, and significant resistance to memory extinction occurred. Urban air pollution is a problem in a lot of cities like Beijing and Mexico City. It targets the dorsal vagal complex, or inflammatory brain disease that causes Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. The dark chocolate offers neuroprotection from the toxins in mice of Mexico City, according to the International Journal of Toxicology. What does that mean for people who live in Mexico City? Get the box of chocolate there now. That's what it means, doesn't it? In addition, epicatechin, a flavanol ingredient of dark chocolate, reduced stroke damage in the mice they studied, and they were treated 90 minutes prior to attack. This is significant because this means that they knew the mice were going to have a full debilitating stroke, but if they pre-treated them 90 minutes before that stroke, not only did the stroke occur, but it was totally and completely healed back to normal without any residual damage because of this reason. It works by activating the NRF2 and heme oxygenase pathways that protect brain and nerve cells. I could describe all of those to you, but know this. Big words, pathways, published in medical journals, protecting your brain and your nerves mean that we work and we know why. We're not just a candy anymore, are we? Dark chocolate reduces the symptoms of diabetes. According to Clinical Translational Science Medical Journal, 100 milligrams of epicatechins for 3 months help normalize cristae levels in the pancreas and increased molecular indicators of mitochondria production in type 2 diabetes. Again, we know why it's working. We know it's in the pancreas. We know the very cell that is getting a benefit. We know exactly how much to take. It's not just, I have a testimonial and my diabetes isn't bad anymore. It's this. I'm confident the dark chocolate has helped me and my mother with our diabetes because, according to this journal, we have found that the problems we had were in this one specific cell in our pancreas that now, over 3 months, is significantly better. You have all the confidence in the world that your testimonial will be supported by the best science that there is. You'll be received. You'll change lives. Recruitment will be a byproduct. Dark chocolate and weight loss. Eating dark chocolate 5 times a week was associated with about 1 point drop in body mass index. That would amount to about 7 pounds of weight loss in a 5'10" person. University of California, San Diego reports that's all they did different. They brought the chocolate on 5 times a week, and over 3 months they naturally, because of the anti-inflammatory effect, had a benefit. Oh, but wait, here's another reason that it worked. Cocoa may block carbohydrate and lipid breakdown in the gut and aid in weight management. It's blocking your body's absorption of the fats that make you fat. That's a great idea. Again, another brand new study. This is done at Penn State University. The inflammation with arthritis is reduced using dark chocolate. Wait a minute. I've always had to tell you, I'm not sure that we have any benefit at all in arthritis, but keep taking the product and let me know. Now I can say it can be used with arthritis drugs and safely and beneficially help reduce the inflammation in arthritic patients. And future studies will probably tell us how much, how long, and how often. The highest levels of dark chocolate consumption were associated with a 37% reduction in cardiovascular disease and a 29% reduction in stroke. Again, the University of Cambridge is supporting you in your studies. But don't you love that quote? The highest levels of dark chocolate showed the highest benefits. Is there a limit? Oh, there's always a limit, isn't there? Let's see what the scientists say about limits here a little bit farther. Harvard reviewed 21 published studies and performed their own study and reported that dark chocolate does the following. Consumption improved cholesterol levels and blood vessel health, reduced blood pressure, and improved risk factors for diabetes, including reducing insulin sensitivity or resistance. Harvard concluded that dark chocolate may help curb cardiovascular disease as a whole. That's a great endorsement. Dark chocolate can boost eyesight and brain health by improving blood flow to the tiniest blood vessels of the retina in the eye. This is from the Journal of Physiology and Behavior. Quote, a more humane way of treating Alzheimer patients includes unlimited dark chocolate. What is the limit in a therapeutic situation for Alzheimer? Unlimited. That's good because some of them can't remember how much they took. And it's a good excuse for us. But think about how you talked about chocolate 6 years ago, and then 5 years ago, and then 4 years ago, and the progress we've had just in the past year. This is fantastic. By the raise of hands, how many of you have increased confidence that you're in the right place at the right time? Look around the room. What sells? The transfer of enthusiasm by confident people. That's an important part, too. A more humane way of treating Alzheimer patients includes unlimited dark chocolate. I love that. Another quote from the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition: chocolate-loving men tend to be leaner, more educated, skinnier, and suffer from diabetes less than those who eat other sweets. They also had better attitudes about their lives. Women, are you buying chocolate for your men, even if you're hiding it in their food? This is a great idea. Do I have to read that one more time? That's pretty good. That's like the babies are going to be more attractive, too. I mean, active, right? Chocolate-loving men tend to be leaner, more educated, skinnier, and suffer from diabetes less, and they had better attitudes about their lives. That's in a published medical journal in Europe. Eating dark chocolate is more exciting than kissing. I knew I could get somebody's response with that. This Australian journal says, the effects of eating chocolate on the heart rate and brain activity